Ladies and gentlemen, well, I have the pleasure to introduce you to another episode of the Truth Train, where we shovel truth coal into the engine towards the ultimate goal, which is...
The ultimate truth.
Yes. And we are the conductors on this train.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do we shovel the coal, but we also stamp the tickets.
That's true. That's true. We clip the tickets, but the truth furnace must be raging at any given time.
Even if it's down still. To pick up passengers.
That's right. But much like Back to the Future, where they're throwing those colored, like dynamite logs into the a hijacked train.
Right.
But that's like daily life here at the Truth Train. Mm. We are the end scene of Back to the Future 3 all the time, even when we're sleeping. You know?
For the young listeners
right.
who hasn't seen Back to the Future, it's starring Michael J. Fox, and because of time traveling, he has now Parkinson.
That's true.
Yeah, because if you go back and forth, future, past, present, it damages your nervous system.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Time traveling is not good.
So, but if you wanna, it's like smoking. If you know the risk and you can live with that, please go ahead, smoke.
As long as you know the risk.
As long as you know the risk.
Yeah.
But the doc didn't tell him about that. And the beautiful thing about the end of the third one, which can I just say, Back to the Future, just making a trilogy is difficult.
Trilogy,
sorry.
Yeah.
Trilogy. If you make a trilogy, that's very difficult. Indiana Jones did it. Star Wars did it. Mm. And of course, but like The Godfather couldn't do it.
No, they couldn't.
The third movie, I mean,
no.
I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
It's a cash grab, and also telling the story that he died at the end.
Right.
But it's not really. It wasn't necessary because they kind of like the two first was great, and then the third one was like.
It was the haircut for me in the third one.
Yeah.
The haircut. What's with the hair?
Al Pacino, the hair.
Yeah, but he didn't have the right haircut for that movie.
No, he did not.
And most of the movies that do flop, for me anyway, it's mostly contingent on the haircut.
I agree. I agree. That's why I didn't like the Schindler's List movie. I didn't like it. I didn't like Liam Neeson's haircut. But but he saved all the Jews. But did you see that haircut?
Yeah, that's right.
That nobody had that one.
Yeah. He wasn't a believable Schindler because of the haircut.
Exactly. And the Titanic also kind of ruined. He had his front was too long.
His bangs.
Yeah, his bangs was too long.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I didn't really buy that. I was glad I was glad he died at the end.
Right, because of the haircut.
Because of the haircut. Anyway, speaking of haircuts, I am fresh out of the oven from my hairdresser.
Wow.
Which is a gay guy with blue hair, green hair, whatever the hair color is.
Right.
And I've been loyal to him for a couple of years now.
Right.
He knows what's going on. But today he really fucked it up.
Did he?
Yeah. He's like I'm not gonna cut it too long. I'm like, no, too short. I'm gonna keep length. Blah blah. And I said, that's cool. You know, you're a guy who seem like you know what you do. But he seemed distracted, and he cut my hair too short. And I don't want him to die, but I have issues. Like, I have now trust issues with my hairdresser.
Right.
I've been loyal for a reason, because I felt like, he delivers the thing that I want. Mm-hmm. But now he just, yeah. So the question is, can you trust the hairdresser now? Is it possible?
No.
You can't, right?
Well, listen, I'm a curly-haired person. Here's a problem with hairdressers. Every hairdresser will tell you, definitely I know how to cut curls, and none of them do. So there's only 3 in a million, I think, are the stats, official stats.
What's the problem?
With curls?
Yeah. Well, why can't they cut that as good as regular?
Because it's very different wet than dry. The end result is dry, but they cut it wet.
Length? Is it something to do with length?
No, it's just that it's straight when it's wet, and then when it's dry,
and then they cut it, and then when it dries, it becomes too short again.
That's right. Well, it's all messed up.
They can't measure the length of the retraction of the hair, like when it retracts, kind of.
The
or
betrayal,
curls.
the betrayal I've felt from hairdressers is infinite.
Right.
And that's why I allied myself with Ouster Salons, who can really get the job done.
Is that a Hollywood salon where we are at now?
Yes, it's a Hollywood salon right outside the studio, which
is Hollywood.
It's very expensive turning the studio into some guy's apartment.
Very short. We're sponsored by
Lloyd and Melon Hot Sauce, the greatest hot sauce on earth.
Yeah, we have an Australian listener who always looks forward to the sponsor commercial on this podcast.
I don't think that's unique to Australia, to put it that way.
She's tuning in to listen to Lloyd and Melon, a product she cannot get, she said.
Yeah.
She cannot get it in Australia.
Right.
But if you're willing to put down some cash,
yeah,
you can buy that one.
Hey, it's like everything else. Like if you're willing to put in the time and effort, you can accomplish anything.
Hey, maybe we should send her a bottle.
That would be so great.
That would be great. We'll send her a free bottle to our Australian listener.
Absolutely.
Just give us the address. Send it to the Truth Train Podcast at gmail.com.
Or even better, just send it to the Instagram account.
Instagram as well.
DM. So
DM Truth Train on the Instagram.
The Lloyd and Melon Australian listener should send her address to the to the DM of the Truth Train.
Yeah, the TikToks also. Like, go in there.
So listen,
we'll send you a bottle.
This is a huge day, not just for this podcast, not just for Lloyd and Melon, but for the world. A new, unique flavor has come
barbecue.
out. Yeah, that's right. Korean barbecue has now come out. This is so huge, you wouldn't even believe it. If you thought this hot sauce was political before,
think again.
Think again, right? Because this just got nuts. Now, and it wouldn't surprise me if this was North Korean barbecue sauce.
North Korean barbecue, which is better. But we do the more Korean, like the South and North.
That's right.
Right.
So I promised them that we would do a taste test.
Okay.
Which is why, here's a spoon. Okay. And then we're going to...
Just like a drip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, whoa. Okay, that's okay.
You can take from me.
Okay, pour some in there. See, this is a hot sauce podcast. It always has been.
And you put this on what?
On whatever you want. I mean, it's the opportunities are infinite.
Oh, my God.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, packs a punch.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Packs a punch.
Whoa, what a hot sauce.
Oh, my God.
That's wild.
It stinks back there. But it's good. So you can put this on your beef.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken. Can you put it on chicken?
Listen, if you can find something you can't put this on, let us know.
Call us.
Call the hotline.
Call the Truth Train hotline.
No,
we have 10 people standing by.
We hired a bunch of people who are sitting in a windowless building in the basement with phones.
Right.
Waiting to take your call because we still haven't found anything you can't put Korean barbecue Lloyd and Melon sauce on. Let me tell you something. The umami is screaming with this sauce.
And I have now confirmed that Truth Train hot sauce sponsorship through Lloyd and Melon is, they are a proud sponsor.
How'd you find that out?
You texted me that he said that.
That's true. He did.
You actually sent a screenshot.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
That's
so,
great.
I mean, it's nice to know. I mean, it's something like, let's say your parent or guardian shows up with you at the soccer game as a child, and they're like, well, unfortunately, this is my son. That's not cool. It's way better as like, they proudly announce, like, look, this is my son kind of thing.
Can I just give you, yeah.
It's that kind of dynamic. So they're a proud sponsor. They used to be like, ugh, I don't know, are we associated with this,
Can I just give you a short, brief story that I heard?
I'm so ready.
A guy stole a tank in America. He drove around, and the police was trying to stop him, but he had like armored himself in, like he was like at steel gates. He had like locked the tank, everything, to destroy buildings and everything. I don't know how many lives that were lost, but let's say a couple.
Right.
Stood trial, and he was like going to be sentenced for life in prison. His family, everybody was crying, and he did, as a last wish before he left court, he wanted everybody to taste the Lloyd and Melon hot sauce,
Right.
the Korean barbecue, and everybody said, "Well, that's not how we do court." And he said, "Just but this one time," and everybody tasted some beef or some whatever the Korean beef was mixed in with
That's right.
barbecue, and everybody tasted it, and he got off scot-free.
Wow.
They reduced the sentence to just like clean up some trash.
Wow.
And
Community service.
Yeah, and he's now a billionaire.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah,
Wow.
he drives around in a tank all the time
In Los Angeles.
in Los Angeles,
In the hills.
and they love it.
Yeah, he rides
They
around in
love
Beverly
it.
Hills.
And he's a big part of the community.
And he's
now.
got a super soaker, and he sprays people with the sauce as he drives by.
Right, exactly. So thanks to Lloyd and Mellon.
That's right. And that's lloydmellon.com.
Yes.
You know?
Okay, so me and Dex we haven't talked that much since the last podcast. Well, of course we have, but I feel that we've kind of drifted apart a little bit.
Yeah.
I've become somewhat, how would you say, more interesting.
Yeah.
I've become more interesting.
I mean, you're a better person than me now.
I think I am.
You have more value as a human
And
being.
it wasn't a wish that I had.
No.
I didn't want this.
This was a natural evolution.
Listen, I always thought, hey, we're similar people.
Right.
We can talk, look into each other's eyes.
Right.
And like feel like, hey, we are on a level playing field.
We're equals. We used to think that.
We used to think that.
Yeah.
And we kind of were, in a way.
Naively, we thought that.
But something happened. Something profoundly happened to me
Yeah.
on Monday. Mm-hmm. Would you care to tell the audience?
Well, I mean, it hurts me on the inside, but I mean, the facts are the facts. Because you are now a boat owner.
Yes, I own a boat.
You are now maritime.
Yes.
And I am not.
Yeah. And
So-
I feel I need to see other people in a way.
The only responsible thing now is to move on
Right.
to greener pastures,
True.
different friends,
Yes.
more alcohol.
And more boat friends.
Yeah, like
People
yeah.
who have shorts and those like sailor, like leather small shoes with no socks.
That's right. Maritime people.
Maritime people who always laugh. Nobody laughs as hard as the maritime people,
That's true.
you know?
You know, there's enough juice there to keep them all fat and giggly.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. And I mean, I didn't know that owning a boat would change me as much.
I mean, I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, but you didn't say anything.
I know.
Because when I said, hey, I'm going to buy a boat on Monday,
That's
you,
right.
you were like it's like you've experienced this before.
Yeah.
It's like you've lost a lot of friends to the sea.
Hey.
Not dead, but they just like they have a boat.
But hey, who hasn't?
Right.
You know? I've lived, right?
Hey, I lost a lot of good friends out on the
yeah.
out on the ocean.
Out on the
there.
horizon.
On the horizon.
If you think, okay, that as a non-boat person, you can somehow, I mean, let's be honest. What does a non-boat person have to offer a boat person?
Why would I hang around with people who don't have a boat?
What is there? What's in it for you?
I don't know.
You know, I mean,
because we have nothing to talk about.
other than the sauce. You know?
Yeah.
But even that.
Even
it's-
that is-
it's not a maritime sauce.
Not really.
You know, it isn't.
No. So
So where are you finding your new friends? Have you joined a boat club?
not yet.
Okay. I mean, have you put on small, inappropriately small jean shorts, and you're down by the marina pumping gas into your boat, and there you like meet other people like, hey, you know, what kind of gas are you using?
Right. No, not yet. I don't actually know where to fill gas.
Right.
Right. So I have to figure that out first. But I have noticed that I have to lose some weight.
Right.
That I have noticed. Because this is going to be a very shirtless summer.
Okay. Right.
It's going to be a lot because when you're on the ocean, you don't wear a shirt.
Okay. Okay.
You don't put on T-shirts. You don't put on anything.
Are those the
Just
official?
like a small shorts,
Right.
like right up to the thigh area.
Did your maritime friends tell you that at the inauguration?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had like a meeting where we sacrificed a virgin person, a girl and a boy. We killed them both.
That's right. Of course.
Get the maritime label.
Yeah, kind of like the mafia. Like you slit your own hand and then you bleed onto like a.
Yeah. Well, we killed them both
Right.
with an anchor.
Of course.
Yes, and then we tasted the blood, and now I have like a boat license, and I can travel. That's how you apply for a boat license in this area.
What does it feel like to be better than like 95% of the population in an official way?
It feels so good that I don't really notice it because you're just like it's not even about feeling better. It's more about like just avoiding others,
Right.
right? It's not like I feel better than them. It's just like I have to avoid other people now,
Right.
right?
Makes sense.
It makes sense.
What does it feel like to talk to a non-boat person now that you are so maritime?
It's like talking to an empty shell,
Right.
right?
Soulless.
Because they don't know what life is about.
That's true.
Because you don't know what life is about before you're on water
Yeah.
and floating around with gasoline.
Because everyone at any given time is just trying to reunite with the sea.
And also, I'm going to get new friends now that I didn't have before.
Of course.
Right? No, let me rephrase. I'm going to now be approached by other people that wants to be my friend, but they just want to have the boat experience.
Right.
Right? Like, hey, you're a boat. Yeah. Maybe we should go out on the ocean together sometime, right? I'm going to now have women DMing me, telling me that they always loved me and that they want me to be the father of their child.
Of course.
Based on this 15-foot, 50 horsepowered Evinrude motor rib that I have.
Wow.
That is really just for two people.
Yeah.
Like to be comfortable, you have to be two people.
Right.
Like you can't be three, right? So this is so I have to like choose now. I'm more in a choosing situation.
Can you still talk to your parents?
Not really. We don't talk.
They don't have a boat.
They did have a boat.
Right.
A small boat when I was young. But then
No.
I mean, they had their chance,
Yeah, they did.
right?
They did.
So maybe this is one of our last podcasts.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense because you probably want to move on to a more maritime podcast.
I'm gonna get a new friend
Yeah.
who has a boat,
Yeah.
who speaks English,
That's
who's also big into the Illuminati. 9/11 was an inside job,
That's right.
and
Anti-vax.
that they're trying to poison you with food.
Yes.
And the RFK Jr. is our hero, right? I need to find a person who's like that.
But it needs a more maritime flavor.
Absolutely,
Right.
It has to be salty.
And I remember I asked you, what is your reason for wanting to get the boat? And you so eloquently said, hey, at the end of the day, we're all just longing to reunite with the sea.
That is true.
Right? So I already sensed like there's a very poetic element here.
Yeah. We want to all like what
Merge. We all want to merge back with the creator, which is the sea.
But I think because like let's talk about death for a moment.
Of course. What else?
What else is there to talk about?
What a natural segue.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, come on.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so dying. Like I was never. I understand why you like if you die at a hospital or at home or whatever in front of your family that they have some kind of closure, right? That like I saw him die, I buried him or her, and it's over.
Yep.
But I feel that it's like the way I would like to go, because there was this rumor after Jim Morrison died. That Jim Morrison, for the kids out there, he was the singer in The Doors. And he was in Paris, and he was a pretty heavy on the heroin. And he allegedly died in his bathtub. But some people said that he faked his own death and that he was observed in Africa a couple of years later. Right? And one of the people in the band said, like, responded to that rumor. It's like, well, if there's anyone who would fake his own death, it would be him.
Right.
He said, like, if there was anyone who did that and then went to Africa and just disappeared, that would be him. And he said, like, I would love to believe that. Like, I would love to like that he just like, fuck it, I'm just going to Africa and just like roaming around.
That's right.
And also, I think that's pretty romantic when you take a boat and you go to the ocean and you never return. Like, where is he? He's still out there.
Yeah, somewhere.
Right? I think that's a like, because then you're never dead.
That's true.
You never die.
And also, like, if people ask, like, where is Anders Macaulay? And the answer always begins with, legend has it.
Yes. Who wouldn't love to have a legend has it?
Right?
Legend has it that he took his ribbed boat, red 50 horsepower boat.
Evan Rude.
Evan Rude.
Yeah.
Not much difference between Johnson and Evan Rude, let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
And he took that boat and he went and never saw him again.
Yeah.
Some people say that he lives on an island in the tropics, in the Pacific. He's on the North Pole, South Pole. Choose any pole.
Yeah.
Choose
any pole.
Choose any pole.
Yeah.
And I would rather go that way. And then, like, well, he must be dead. He's like, it's like 100. He must be 100 now.
Yeah.
But if anyone lives to 100, it must be him, eating fish all day.
That's right.
Right?
And not only that, but I mean, I think also a very big goal for everyone, through the duration of a human life, is to find a message in a bottle.
True.
But let's be honest, how often do they wash up on shore? I mean, you're perfectly poised to find one because you're out there. It's like me being on shore hoping to find a message in a bottle is kind of like hoping to win the lottery without a ticket.
That is true.
And you're out there with like 50,000 tickets.
Here's the thing. I think, the garbage patch in the Pacific?
That's right, of course.
How many bottles have just like gone into that patch?
Right.
And lost into, because the reason that it's a patch is because the water circulates and meets in that area and just creates this big, disgusting plastic patch.
Nice.
But not only plastic, floating bottles, glass bottles. They also, it's the same what do you call it, trajectory? Or like it's the
Same system.
Same system.
Yeah. Same system.
There must be like insane amount of bottles where
because
people say, hey, treasure over here.
Yeah.
And it's just like a big garbage patch.
That's right.
And we never find the treasure now because of because it's all garbage. You're not going to open every bottle and like, hey, there's something in here.
Yeah.
A burnt paper and in a glass bottle with a cork on it.
Yeah.
Right? Never happens.
Just the fact that you have the freedom to head toward the patch puts you on a whole other level.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think most people, I mean, put it this way, you can deny it, but you'd be lying to yourself. True. Because I wake up and as a person who is, I'm stuck on land. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
There's limitations. You can head toward the patch.
I can.
So imagine that. So I meet a woman. I go, "Hi, may I interest you in some land-based activity?" Right? And then you say, "Hi, want to come with me to the garbage patch?" Obviously, who's going to win that one?
What movie do you think is going to be when is there a movie about like the bad guy has a secret layer on the garbage path? No, patch.
Wow. Or maybe even under it.
Even better.
Yeah, even better.
Just hiding under the garbage path.
Yeah.
Path.
Yeah, patch.
The path to garbage.
Wow.
That's a movie about a woman who, whatever. The path to garbage.
Yeah, right.
It's like, found the wrong guy.
Yeah.
The
path to garbage.
And then went down the rabbit hole of garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming this summer.
So, any topics for today's podcast?
Well, I mean, I was thinking about one thing, right? And what's interesting is, everyone you meet now, it seems like their ex was a narcissist.
That's what you said. Yeah, that's true. And I agree. That's a great topic, and we need to discuss it.
Yeah,
we need to discuss it.
But before we go into it, it's very interesting to say that now that you're a boat guy, you've sort of diverted yourself from that whole topic. Because they can't say you're a narcissist because you're a boat guy.
Right.
My ex was a boat guy.
That's what they say now.
That it is.
He loved his boat more than me.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people say.
But you'll never get narcissist. You'll just be he was so maritime.
Yeah,
he was too maritime for me.
He loved his bike more than me.
Yeah. And it's like, how come it didn't work out? He was more maritime than I was capable of being.
But if people say like he loved his boat, because I've actually heard that, like he was, every time he didn't come home, he was always down by the boat, fixing the boat, right?
Right.
And I think that if you cannot compete with an object, such as like a boat or a bike or a car, he's always fixing the car.
Yeah.
He's always like, he bought this old 60s Porsche and he's always fixing it.
He bought a Soviet Tiger tank.
Exactly.
And I can't compete with it.
Typical male problem.
Right. Right.
And if you're not competing with a tank or a boat or whatever it is, don't blame the thing.
No.
Blame yourself.
That's a you problem.
That's a you problem.
Uh-huh.
If you can't go like, oh, he bought an old Harley Davidson and he's always fixing it.
Right.
He's always trying to fix it, or he's always whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but make yourself more interesting.
If you're less interesting than an inanimate object, it's time to sit down and reevaluate your awesomeness.
You have to take a course now in something.
Yeah.
Because like you have to discover clay, you have to find your own hobby. You have to make yourself interesting here.
Yeah.
You can't just like come home from work, wait for him, and then start living.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right.
find your own thing. Like, okay, he fixes the boat. Well, do you have any hobbies? I like to read. Okay, read while he's fixing the boat.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's not about that. Okay, what is about that? Well, I love to be home.
You know, it's very obvious that they're teaching you big things over there at the Maritime Club.
This is what we talk about.
Hey, you're already just 3 days in, and you're already a different person.
I think so too.
I mean, this might be the last episode easily.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm actually thinking about quitting right now.
Just walk out.
I'm walking.
I'll walk right now.
Okay.
So anyway, but listen, I've met so many people, and I like almost without exception, almost. And it's just like my ex was a narcissist.
Right.
It goes both ways, male, female, the whole thing. And you know, it's very interesting. I go to this place, which shall remain anonymous. Huh? All right. Anyway, and there's some recovery from drugs and alcohol there, and stuff like that. And a couple came in because they both had problems with drugs and alcohol, and the state got involved.
The couple had?
Like both of them.
Yeah, but were they together before the problem?
No. Well, that I don't know, but they were together. They had 2 children. Then there was a drug problem, and they both had it.
Oh, okay. So they knew each other before the drugs.
Well, I don't know, but the history is not so relevant. They just developed a massive drug problem, enough to come to this place I'm talking about for help, because the government wanted to take their kids away. Anyway, so they both came in, but they hated each other so much, and they were going to like couples therapy or whatever. So then they went into different meetings.
Right.
But I saw them both in different meetings, and both of them were calling the other one a narcissist. Isn't that fascinating? So that means one of them must be a narcissist, because
What can't both of them be?
I don't know. I guess they can, but I mean,
Right.
it's way more tactical for the narcissist to accuse the other side of that which you are guilty.
Of course.
Or maybe none of them are, and they're just idiots.
Listen, how many women have I met where they say, well, my ex was a psychopath?
Right.
Right? Everybody's like the worst version of themselves in a troubled situation, such as a breakup.
Right.
When you have a breakup going, nobody really shows their best side. Some people do. Like
You know, me personally, I'm the best version of myself in a breakup.
I think so too. We've learned from you so much.
That's when I really shine.
But some people become the worst version.
Right,
Okay?
right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they say that, oh, well, he was a crazy guy. And all the women I've been on dates with in my life has always like, well, my ex. Well, first of all, women love to talk about their exes.
Right.
Oh my God. They have no problems listening about, like, hearing about exes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about your ex, and I'm not saying everyone is like this, and then like, they talk about their ex, and then if I like, okay, I'll pile on and talk about mine. Like, just like we're sharing whatever, and then like you talk a lot about your ex.
Wow.
Like what? No, but I'm just meeting you halfway.
I'm just trying to be part. We're in the X zone. I thought we were.
Yeah, we're talking about exes. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I just said like this, and you had like this. Yeah, but it's same length, same story. Just maybe a little bit more crazy, my story, but it's so. But anyway, that's a different topic at all, entirely. I would say this. I remember. Can I just say one thing about like drug people hanging out? Because there's something interesting when people meet up and then become addicts together.
Right.
When they become addicts together. I remember I was involved in some pyramid scheme many, many years ago. Young 20-year-old something. And somebody said, hey, you buy this and you make 2 other people buy this. And then like within 2 weeks, you have a boat.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I need a boat.
Of course.
2 weeks.
Of course.
That's easy.
Yeah.
So me and a friend like got a friend and another friend and blah blah blah. And then I remember we met this couple. They were kind of like hippie-ish, kind of like the apartment wasn't like, it wasn't stylish, but it wasn't dirty. It was just like, I don't know what the hell was going on. She had a kid from before, and he didn't have, and they probably smoked and maybe they did some party drugs or whatever. And she was crazy hot. So we were like selling this pyramid shit to them, and they were completely on board.
Really?
Yeah. They were like, yeah, fuck yeah, like millionaires. Imagine the drugs we can take, right?
Right.
But I didn't know that at the moment. I didn't know that they were druggy. I thought they were like just like, they enjoy themselves on the weekends. Okay. So and she was crazy hot. Like she was like this is top notch. This is holy bananas. I had like trouble focusing because and he was like,
You had trouble focusing on the pyramid scheme almost.
yes, I was almost like giving up on the pyramids.
Because the woman doing drugs was too hot, so you couldn't focus on the pyramid scheme.
I didn't know about the drugs. They were like hippie-ish. They had like, these scarves hanging on the wall with like crazy colors.
Like dream catchers, stuff like that.
Yeah. Dream catchers. Just like innocent.
Because their dreams are so great, they need to be caught.
They probably did drugs to have a good time, but it seemed to me that they didn't have any problems, but also no ambitions.
Right.
Because that's important here.
Right.
They don't have a drug problems, but they also lack ambitions.
Of course.
So I thought, wow, she's hot. This is a blonde and just perfectly shaped human being.
Yeah.
Nice face, just like, and she was together with this guy, and he wasn't ugly, but he wasn't like, I don't know. Anyway, a couple of years passed this meeting, and then I saw her on the street. It was like, I don't know, 3:00, raining, just pouring down. Everybody under our umbrella and just like shitty. I was buying a hamburger or whatever late at night before I go home, and I see this woman on the street. Like she's a drug addict. She has like a couple of plastic bags, backpack, hoodie, just like in ratty clothes. And yeah, this is a drug addict, obviously, but she's a female. And then I see who it is, and it's this woman.
It's a pyramid scheme woman.
Yeah. And that broke, something broke, because it was like, no, like, why would you do that? Right?
Right.
Like, do you know what level you're on? You could have whatever.
Did she still look good sitting on the street?
I didn't approach her.
Right.
Because I don't know why I didn't. I regret that but I didn't really know her. The only way I only sold her the pyramid schemes with my friend. Yeah. I didn't know what I was involved in. I was just like, hey, easy money, right? Stupid.
Right. You didn't want to interrupt her homelessness.
She kind of looked homeless.
Right.
And I don't know what I was doing, but anyway, and this was a couple of years later. Many years later, like 6 years later, whatever. Right. She looked like the same shape-wise, but I don't know,
Tiredness, yeah.
Probably.
Do you feel that your pyramid scheme involvement put her there?
No, I don't think. But it certainly escalated it.
It certainly didn't slow it down.
It didn't slow it down. It didn't slow it down.
Wow.
Didn't slow it down.
Yeah.
So who knows? But my point is, obviously they would have broken up. And if I were a little bit smarter, I could have gone in there and like saved her.
Right.
Hot woman. I could have just like got in there like, hey, you remember me? I sold you the pyramid scheme those many years ago.
She goes, oh, I've been waiting for you for years.
Yes, thank you for stealing our money. Yeah, hey, don't worry about it. I lost money too. We're all losers here.
Let's be losers together.
Right.
Right.
And I could have said like, hey, your situation doesn't look too good here with the plastic bags and all. Maybe I can upgrade your bag situation. I have some bags. Maybe I can help you out.
Maybe I can help you out with a better bag.
Yeah, maybe you need an umbrella, because she was just like, it was pouring down.
Oh, God.
She didn't have any like jacket, like just like a hoodie. absorbing the water. Just like her life was getting shittier and shittier. And on the street, smoking. It's just like it was shitty.
Right.
I could have turned that ship around.
Yeah, you could.
Again, another maritime reference.
But have sold her a new pyramid scheme.
I could have sold her a new life.
You could.
Yeah.
And hey, but listen, just a week ago, I would have said, could you really have helped her? But now that you're maritime, obviously you could have brought her into the world of boats.
But my point here is that I wonder if those two that I sold the thing to were narcissists as well. Because usually, you know, when you do drugs and stuff, you're kind of like focused on yourself a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about like I have to cure my pain. I have to like my problems.
Yeah.
They talk about themselves a lot.
Yeah, me.
And I think maybe that would be a problem in my relationship to this drug addict down the road, that it would be a lot about her.
Yeah, that would be the number one issue with your relationship to a drug addict.
Yeah, it's all about her.
No, but the self-centeredness.
Yeah.
Not the debilitating drug addiction.
Yeah, not that she's like trading tricks down the street
No.
or like, you know, prostitution.
But the narcissism.
The narcissism.
That's right.
It's not the fact that she's dying on my floor.
No.
It's about the narcissism.
It's the fact that it's all about her, yeah.
It's all about her. Like where she's like lying on the floor, ODing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you wanted to be my wife.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, based on like everything I see going on like social media, I'm walking down the street, okay? I remember people had stupid clothing when I was in my 20s too, right? And I had no respect for people my own age, and I hated my own generation. And I only thought music from the 60s and 70s was good. And I hated all 90s boy bands, and I hated everything going on, and all this fucking like America's Got Talent and all the stupid shows that were coming out, and Big Brother and all this shit. I hated it all then. But now you walk down the street and people are just like, oh my, fuck. It's so goddamn annoying. So I think the only thing to do is to admit we're all narcissistic and there's no hope for anyone. And the best thing you can do is just give up hope. Because hope is the one thing that makes you, how do I put this? Hope is only fueling your suffering, right? If you just go, I'm a terrible human being, I'm fully self-obsessed, no one's getting together, and it's all hopeless, then you can achieve things.
Narcissistic personality disorder is a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance.
Right.
Right. Is that something you can relate to?
Oh, no, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all, no.
They need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them.
Right.
Still nothing?
Still nothing. I can't relate to that on any level.
People with this disorder may lack the ability to understand and care about feelings of others.
Right.
Still nothing?
No. I have too much empathy.
Hey, listen. You could say this about everyone.
You really could.
You could.
Yeah.
I mean, they seek too much. Okay, what is too much?
Yeah.
What is too much? Like if a baby scream in the whatever the thing they're
the
crib, yeah. Are they narcissists?
It's a little self-centered.
I would say so.
Yeah, this is not all about you.
A lot of babies are not too much narcissistic.
Yeah, so if drug addicts are narcissistic, influencers are narcissistic, college students are narcissistic, I mean, babies are narcissistic.
Yeah, but there's a couple of abstract things here. Unreasonably high sense of their own importance. Unreasonably high in sense. How do you measure that?
What's a reasonable sense?
What is reasonable and unreasonable?
Yeah.
And what is high and what is, whatever. Medium. And then too much attention and want people to admire them. What is admire? What is like, oh, I look up to you, or I think you're great, or I admire you.
Do you know what I think is really, really interesting though? If you have the ability to ask yourself the question, maybe I'm a narcissist. Could I be a narcissist? Right? If you have that ability, you're most likely not a narcissist. The majority of hardcore narcissists, they can't even entertain the idea.
Yeah, because can you please think if you're a narcissist? No, I'm not.
Yeah. No.
And people admire me, actually, for not being as much narcissistic.
An unreasonable amount, actually.
Actually, an unreasonable... People admire me an unreasonably high sense of admiredness.
No, but they would just say, I have an unreasonable amount of empathy for others.
Yes. I am insanely, like... Okay, wasn't that a Trump quote that nobody's less narcissistic than me or whatever? I don't know. But... Of course.
The worst people I've met in my whole life have two fundamental beliefs. Number one, I'm only nice. And number two, I'm always the victim. As long as you believe those two things, you can set up death camps like they're going out of style. Because there's no limits to what you can do now.
That they're not going out of style? Or going out of style?
Like they're not going out of style.
No, that's important.
Like they're very stylish.
Right.
Because the thing is, like, if you think you're only good and you're only the victim, then whatever you do is justified.
True.
And so the worst human beings I've ever met are all like that. But I mean, let me ask you this. Do you feel like me that you're going to need a straitjacket and a padded cell pretty soon because of watching Instagram and just looking at these people being themselves, saying stuff like, I'm speaking my truth? I mean, do you want to blow your brains out on a regular basis? Do you want to just like... I mean, seriously, have you given up to the extent to which I have?
I think it's more like I want to blow myself up with them. I don't want to kill myself. I don't want to unalive myself.
Right.
Alone in my apartment because I watch Instagram.
Right.
It's more like I want to walk into that party with a vest.
Right.
Which has homemade devices.
Right.
Which is like now like unaliving everyone.
Wow.
Right? It's more like that.
Wow.
Or get lost at sea with everybody.
Right.
You know?
Legend has it.
Legend has it. He took a bunch of models on a boat trip. Never returned.
Yeah, right?
Right.
After walking into an influencer party with a vest.
Yeah, and he brought them on the boat and they never saw him again.
That's right.
He must be 100 years old now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But... I think it is. I actually thought about it the other day, and maybe we thought about or talked about this before. The algorithm is fucking us over.
What do you mean?
Oh, what do I mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean.
I'm ready.
Sometimes somebody sends you a video. It's about cats.
Right.
Okay, great. And now the algorithm is like, oh, he loves cats, and they throw cats at you all day long. And then some people send you a video about like somebody who's hot. Mm-hmm. And it's like, look at this idiot or whatever it is. Like, and then you look at it. And now the algorithm thinks, he only loves beautiful women who are in Bali, right? Doing influencer, like trying to build their influencer status. Mm-hmm. And so now I only get animals and hot women on my Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. And now I've looked at some cars. I'm getting old cars also now. So it's hot women, cats, and
cars.
And people say AI is going to take over. I don't think so. Because as we've talked about earlier, the fact that like you have to choose the pictures with cars on it, and then you choose the car. And like now you can go. That's the safe. Like that's a firewall before you can get into the page or whatever.
Yeah.
Choose the traffic lights.
Right.
And like that's like, oh my God, the robots are gonna take over. But we have these lights now, traffic lights. Then we're good. They're not taking over. Skynet is not taking over because it can't identify the school buses on these pictures.
That's right.
So, so the fact that the algorithm is only giving me Lotus cars, hot women, and cats shows me that the algorithm doesn't work. It doesn't really give you like. Obviously, this is a person who loves more than that. It just piles on. It just like, you like bananas? Okay, here's all the bananas in the world. No, but I eat also protein and other stuff.
Yeah, right, banana man.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's crazy too when you buy a sofa too, which is like a massive investment.
Again.
And then now they go, this guy's in the market for sofas.
Yeah, and you have a great joke about this.
Yeah, but yeah, he's a sofa buying guy. You
yeah,
know?
yeah, you only like, I bought a sofa.
Yeah.
No, you want more sofas.
Yeah, you're a sofa guy now.
You're like, okay, what is the only thing you buy one of? You usually buy one stove.
Yeah.
Right? One oven.
Yeah.
To make food on.
That's right.
You go online, you look for ovens. And like, oh, here's an oven. I buy the oven. It's delivered. I install it.
Yeah.
I make food. But now the algorithm, he loves ovens.
Yeah.
And just piles on.
Yeah.
And then again, as you just said, I'm not going to repeat the joke, but it's just like, I have the oven.
Yeah.
Is there a way? There should be a button.
Yeah.
Well, like, I have an oven.
Yeah.
Stop bothering me.
That's right.
And then like, you love women from Bali. No, it was just a picture from a friend. I'm not into that. Like, I don't want to watch them.
Right.
No, you love them.
Yeah.
It's like a stupid friend who doesn't really get you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
Like, I know I'm done with alcohol. I'm just like, I'm done with no. You love it.
You love it. You
man.
love it.
No, I'm sober. I'm done with drugs and everything now. You love it. You Google it. No, but it's just research for my paper.
Yeah.
No, you want to take drugs.
I got you cocaine for your birthday. Wink, wink.
Yeah. That's the algorithm.
Yeah.
That's the level
It is.
that the algorithm is on. And people say, no, it's going to be so much smarter. I don't think so.
No.
I think if they don't have it down by now, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because like, if I love cars, cats, and Lotus cars, I mean, why wouldn't they, like, if you love Lotus cars, maybe you love Bentleys
Yeah.
and Aston Martins or parts. Do you want to buy some parts to the car? You know, like it's not really working.
No, it's not. Nothing is working. Listen, have you also really gotten an intuitive feeling that all food is all about protein now?
Everything is about protein.
Everything is protein.
Sugar, now with protein. What?
Protein, sugar. Like, there was only 3 years ago, you could go a whole week without hearing protein.
Now it's everything.
Now it's every 4 seconds.
Milk with extra protein.
Yeah.
Yogurt, extra protein.
That's right.
Cheese, extra protein.
Yeah.
Crackers, now with protein.
That's right.
Candy with protein. I've seen that.
So
chocolate bars with protein. Like, it's not a protein bar, but it's a chocolate with protein.
that's right. And it's like a lot of people were very concerned that they were going to contaminate the entire food supply with mRNA, right? But that's just a decoy. They're contaminating the entire food supply with protein. Bananas.
I read an article.
Now with protein.
I read an article about this recently.
What?
There was, I don't know which kind of department of something, whatever.
The protein department?
Yeah, something like that. They said that it's false advertising. Like, everything is about protein now. It's something about you can't advertise everything with protein because it's more like an advertisement thing. It's not like, because even like the Greek yogurt, I used to buy Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
And it was it never said like with extra protein. And I always like, okay, it's like whatever protein is in there, like 11% or whatever it is. And then I read on the, like, now recently, it was like, now with extra protein, like the yogurt with rich on protein. It's the same protein, but they just put the protein on it.
Yeah.
So it's the same level, but it's like, oh, but now it's extra.
I have met people who have 10 to 25 boxes of cottage cheese in their refrigerator and a case of Red Bull. That's their whole diet.
Yeah.
It's almost as if like you're in a video game and you can fuel up so-called lives, right? With eating something, and people think that's protein. So it's like you can never get enough of it. You just keep eating that and everything's great. But anyway, the young people, oh my God. I remember when I was young, like I could seriously eat 27,000 calories in a day. I was drinking Hershey's chocolate syrup, okay? And I still didn't gain weight. I looked more and more awesome the more chocolate syrup I was drinking, kind of thing. I remember one time I had a period of my life where I had a Coca-Cola, a stick of butter, and maple syrup next to my bed. And I'd wake up in the morning and I'd take a huge chunk of the butter and I'd put it in my mouth and then pour maple syrup into my own mouth and then sort of like, enjoy the fucking, beauty of that combination. Swallow it down with a Coca-Cola, and I was on my way. I still look great. And that's your 20s. So these people who are on Instagram, who are in their early 20s, like, I'm going to coach you to a better life. Like, oh, kill me. Kill me now. Are you fucking serious? Like, it's just, oh my God. You know what it's like? It's as stupid as if a well-known doctor who had never done cocaine suddenly became the number one representative in the media for the cocaine debate in a certain country. Could you imagine something so stupid?
You're an inspiration, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Drinking of the Hershey?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't understand why you're single.
I know it's hard to believe.
I can't understand why.
It's hard to believe.
First of all, I never met anyone who drank Hershey syrup. I've never, like maybe a kid, he does that, but then he throws up and it never does that again.
Really?
I remember I got this big chocolate bar. It was like a tennis racket, but like a small one.
Yeah.
But it was a chocolate, and I ate that, and I just ate it and ate it. And I was young. I had like 3 older brothers, and if I didn't eat the chocolate immediately, my brothers would steal from me.
Right.
Because I was youngest and weak.
Right.
So it was just like, that's mine now.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can't steal from me. And my parents, they're like, yeah, people steal. They didn't. They were like, it was too much noise that they couldn't focus on. And I think my mother, she had like concentration problems. My dad was an insane person. Like everything was out of control. But anyway.
Everything was against you in the chocolate arena.
But I remember throwing up so hard from that chocolate tennis racket that when I saw that in the store, it's just chocolate. But when I even just thinking about it now, I get a little bit queasy.
Really?
Yeah. Because it resembles a period in my life where I just I ate it and then I woke up and I just threw up. And it was in a bunk bed. So I just threw up on my brother downstairs, which I think he deserved. He stole my chocolate.
Right.
So it's like payback.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like, no, this is mine. And then I threw up on it. I think that's right.
Vengeance.
Yeah. Yeah. You should throw up on people who do you wrong.
I agree. Finally somebody dares to say it.
Yeah. And so drinking Hershey's and the fact that you didn't throw up shows me. But did you ever throw up at any point from anything? And then I can't eat that again.
No.
That's your problem.
I mean,
you have no limits.
I remember when I first got my allowance, which was $6 a week. That's what it was in Hong Kong in 1995.
Which is a lot of money, by the way.
Hey, $6. Anyway,
in Hong Kong.
It was 60 Hong Kong dollars, right? Which is $6. Anyway, I went to the store and I discovered Haagen-Dazs cookie dough.
Okay, can I just pause you for a second?
What?
Okay, so how much did you get? 60 Hong Kong dollars?
60
Hong
Kong dollars.
Hong Kong dollars.
Yeah.
In when was this?
1995.
95. So US dollars, Hong Kong historical reference rates. Why is this? So I'm just trying to find out
what kind of purchasing power I had with that money.
Yeah, so, adjusted for inflation.
Of course, got to adjust for inflation.
Which month is this?
Which month?
Yeah. What that doesn't matter.
September. So I mean, I guess long story short is, I went to the grocery store and I discovered Haagen-Dazs for the first time, and from that moment on, I spent every single penny of my allowance on ice cream. And I never regretted it. And I remember telling my mom, I'm going to spend every dime I get on this ice cream. And she said, maybe you should diversify. And I looked at her like she was insane. I thought she was sent by the government to try to confuse me from my mission, which was to consume as much of this ice cream as humanly possible before death was inevitable. And I would just eat the eating. And I remember one time also when I got more allowance later on and also started getting summer jobs, I bought 12 Big Macs at one point and I put them in a tray and I covered them with cheese and put them in the oven. So it was like a Big Mac lasagna. I also bought like 4 or 5 frozen pizzas, and I would put them on top of each other to make frozen pizza towers. And I would just eat, and I would eat those, and I would bake them into things. And my friend had a deep fryer at one point. I would spend weeks at his house, sitting there with jalapeno poppers, you know what I mean? Going down there, and he was like a huge Burger King guy because he came from Los Angeles. And I would go to Stavanger just to sit next to his deep fryer and just deep fried cheese, you know, for weeks on end. Mm-hmm. And they would call, like, where are you? You know, you're supposed to be back, you know, doing this and that thing. I was like, do not disturb. I'm deep frying, you know?
Okay, so today it would be $12.
Oh, wow.
Almost $13
Okay.
in today's value.
Nice.
And this is in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And you could buy chocolate there, I would imagine, cheaper than everywhere else.
I guess, yeah.
Guess, maybe. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a pricey town.
Haagen-Dazs was imported. That's why
Right,
it was...
so everything that is imported. So you got like $12 in a week
Yeah.
to just buy bullshit.
I could spend it on whatever I wanted, but what I wanted was that ice cream.
Right.
Anyway, so, you know, I would do other stuff. I would buy, when I first discovered cookie dough ice cream, I would put it in the fridge overnight. I'd wake up and I would drink it for breakfast, you know, stuff like that.
I mean, where were your parents?
They were, hey,
Didn't they just slap you around?
I got straight A's. No one was worried. And for everyone out there who's
they
jealous.
should still slap you, I
Listen,
think.
for everyone out there who's jealous.
Did you ever get slapped?
Of my childhood. For everyone out there who's young, who's ambitious, who wants to drink melted ice cream like I did.
Did you get slapped?
No.
Why not?
Because I got straight A's.
Why not?
I got scholarships and
Hey,
straight A's.
if I had a son who had straight A's, but he was drinking the Hershey's, I would beat the shit out of him. Listen here, retard. I'm just drinking the Hershey's. Yeah, you fat shit.
But I wasn't fat either.
No, but you would, I mean, you know, it's not about what you are now, it's what you're going to become.
Okay.
Don't you see a pattern
It's a
here?
really funny coffee mug. It's not about who you are now. It's about who you're going to become. Oh, fuck. Anyway, the point of all this is that I lived like that for decades, and I was fine. You know, I looked great.
Yeah.
And now these 20-year-old influencers are telling people how to eat. And here's what really bothers me. Back in the day, we used to just eat. It was just something you did. You were out there doing other stuff, and you ate to just fuel the activities. And now everyone wants to find out what to eat. And then you go, what should I eat? And they go, depends on what your goals are. It's like, since when does eating have a goal other than just not dying? I mean, what the hell's wrong with these fucking people? They're so young. They're so stupid. They're so naive. They know nothing. You should eat this thing. Fuck off. Stop. You know what I mean? I just want to drink ice cream and live my life. You know?
You can't do that.
Oh, well, I'm gonna. You know?
No, because they tell you not to do it because it's about protein now.
Yeah.
And there's ice cream now with protein. I'm not joking.
So you can drink. Oh God, fuck. Listen, it's all so hopeless. It's all so hopeless.
There's no hope. Here's the point. The point is this: they are saying not eat this. 1 year later, no, you can eat it. And you eat this now. And
It was fine the whole time.
but you have a video where you say this is like you're gonna kill all the animals if you eat this.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same with Greta Thunberg. What is her statement? If, like she said in 2018, if we don't cut all emissions with 50%, she's gonna with 5%.
No, in 5 years.
In 5 years, she's gonna start killing everyone.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Verbatim.
She said, "I will start killing everyone in
right.
5 years if we don't cut the emissions with 50%."
That's right.
That's what she said.
That's exactly what she said.
I'm not sure that's a direct quote.
Yeah.
But it's something along those lines.
Yeah.
That she said, if we don't cut emissions with 50%, based on science, she will buy a chainsaw and start chopping people up.
I'm pretty sure that's what she said.
In Stockholm.
Yeah.
She will start eating flesh of small children and big children.
Yeah.
If we don't. But so, and she was wrong. Where's she said something that she will start eating the whales. Killing everyone if we don't cut the emissions, and it's still the same. It's like more snow, and it's like I'm not saying that the climate is not changing, but I'm saying that the things that they say it's going to change is not changing.
No,
right? So just be easy on the predictions here.
Yeah, calm down with the predictions.
Calm down with the predictions.
Hey, does it bother you as much as it fucking bothers me that these people are going nuts over this goddamn Dubai chocolate with the fucking pistachio filling like it's some sort of, God-given thing sent from heaven? It's just chocolate.
I've seen some, but what is it about it that is pistachio?
This is all I'm saying. It's just people in Sweden. I go to Sweden a lot for the big savings. Okay?
Of course.
Now, in Sweden, in this mall I go to, there's an entire store dedicated to selling things that are viral on TikTok. Oh, kill me now. None of that food I talked about made me vomit, but that store makes me wanna throw up, okay? Because people who are going like, hey, TikTok, tell me what to do. What the hell's wrong with you? It's like people are getting pregnant, like going to TikTok, like, should I keep my baby, TikTok? Fuck! I'm going insane, and I need a doomsday bunker.
I love that people go on TikTok to see if they should keep the baby. Hashtag, should I keep my baby? And then videos about like, you should not keep the baby.
Yeah.
And then like they go into videos talking about how to not keep a child.
I'm pretty sure that's what they do. And
today I'm going to teach everybody how to do abortion at home. Okay?
Yeah.
Remember to subscribe and follow for more. Okay, you buy this adjustable hanger, coat hanger, and then you do like this. And then they show you on like some whatever. We should do that. We should make a video about us, you know, how we think you should do it.
Look, all I'm saying is this. If you're going to be on TikTok, be there for the Truth Train podcast promo videos.
Yeah.
And not for all this stupid chocolate and all this. Like, what is the name of that guy who fought Mike Tyson, who's full of steroids? Paul Randy.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he made some sort of energy drink called like Garage or something. I'm sorry, it's too crazy. Yeah. He made an energy drink and it's called Fuel or Garage or Garbage.
Yeah, whatever.
Something.
Garbage fuel.
Yeah. And anyway, this whole store in Sweden is filled with this stuff and people go nuts. They pay so much money for this stupid so-called viral stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying. I mean, I'm having a hard time like breathing on planet Earth right now because of all the stupidity. So anyway, I'm just saying that the government should come in and say, if you're going to be on TikTok, it's mandatory that you follow Truth Train podcast for the nuance. For the balance.
We are the resistance.
We are the resistance.
Yeah, we're the balancing the ballast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The anchor that keeps sanity. Like,
yeah, it's a sanity anchor.
It is. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's a sanity anchor.
And
believe me, somebody's trying to pull this anchor out of its place.
The insanity storm is raging.
We are the only thing on the internet that is keeping the sanity somewhat balanced.
That's right.
Everybody has to like just wander off. They wandered off into the whatever it is, like the deep end.
Listen, I just think the most important thing for people to understand is that, look, if you end up in a mental hospital, sure, you can have the thought like, what am I doing wrong in my life kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you're buying a fucking Dubai chocolate for like $600 because you saw it on a reel, I mean, it's time to shut down your whole operation. Get new friends, leave your family, sell everything, buy a boat, drive out to sea and never return.
Yeah, become a legend.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's the only way to redeem yourself if you're buying
that
chocolate.
It's the only thing, yeah.
Have you tasted that chocolate?
Probably great.
What did you say?
It's probably great.
I think it's...
Who doesn't love chocolate? Listen, I love all chocolate.
Oh, gosh.
Okay? I don't love all people, but I love all chocolate.
Right.
Chocolate, and I don't give a fuck if it's made in Dubai or in my asshole, as long as it tastes great. Maybe not the asshole thing, but the point is, if it's made in Denmark or Himalaya or China or whatever, Dubai, the fact that it's made in Dubai, I don't know, that doesn't give me anything. What is that like a big thing now? Like, oh my God, chocolate. Who buys chocolate in Dubai? Like, it melts. It's like 50 degrees Celsius all the time, 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Chocolate is chocolate, but the fact that it's a Dubai thing is probably like it's just a PR stunt from the Emirates.
Does it bother you as much as it bothers me that people think Dubai is so fucking cool? I was there in 1991. It was 2 houses and half a mall, and all of it was desert.
Why didn't you buy property?
Because I was 6 years old.
But you got $6. You could have probably bought a big house.
Could probably bought half of Dubai then.
Yeah, instead of drinking the Hershey, you could have like saved some money and bought a house.
No, but it's like, listen, what's cool is if you go down to El Paso, Texas, and you find yourself in a rundown factory with 3 Mexicans running an undercover burrito business. You know what I mean?
Why is it undercover?
I don't know. They don't want to get caught by the government because of the taxes. Oh. Anyway, it's tax evasion, right? But anyway, it's interesting. So here's some local Mexican people. They're making tortillas at this underground tortilla factory, you know, don't tell anyone, that kind of stuff. Maybe you work there, get some tortillas for free. That's an adventure. But instead, people go like, I want to go to Dubai and go to a mall. Like, seriously? I mean, you might as well go fucking to Honolulu, stay at an all-inclusive resort. I mean, are you mentally handicapped? What's wrong with you? Why can't people, like, everyone's out there like, I want to go on an adventure. No, you don't. You don't even know what it is. Oh my God.
What I think is interesting is that when people go to a city or whatever it is, they go to a mall and they can buy the same things that they sell everywhere else.
That's right.
Why would you do that?
That's right.
They go to New York and I'm going to go to the Bloomingdale or whatever the hell it is, right? And then you go to London. Oh, I'm going to go down Bond Street, which is all the Louis. It's the same shit there as everywhere else.
Yeah.
I go to China, Beijing, Hong Kong, whatever. Like, yeah, but I go to Dubai. I bought this bag in Dubai. Yeah, but you could just bought it in your own city, whatever it is.
And also, here's the #1 tip to everybody who wants to like not be the most annoying person on earth. If you're going to tell a story from some place you've been, it better be, I went to Cambodia, I got bit by a stray dog, I got rabies, I went into a coma, and I woke up buried in a cemetery and escaped through a human smuggling network, and I'm traumatized for life. Nobody wants to hear about how great your trip was, and here's my new bag as a result. Don't talk about how great you are. Nobody wants to hear it. Yeah. People want to hear how much you've been destroyed.
That is true. And the amputation from the dog bite.
That too.
Yeah.
But things went horribly. That's what makes you interesting. Yeah. It's not interesting that
we had a great trip.
Yeah.
That's not interesting.
I was comfortable the whole time.
We want to hear about the fact that you were chased down the runway by the Iranian government.
That's right.
In 1979, when they smuggled you out.
That's right.
Through a movie company, like, you know, the movie, whatever it is. The point is, if you go on stage doing comedy, stand-up comedy, how did the show go? It went well. I'll tell you how the great it went.
Yeah.
No. I want to hear about the bombing. I want to hear about the bombing. How did the war go? It went great. The war went great. No.
Yeah.
We want to hear about the Dresden bombing. How many people died?
Yeah.
That's what we want to hear about, not the victory.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, when they bombed Hiroshima, there was a guy who was in a swimming pool.
Right.
And he went under the water and he survived the bombing.
Yeah.
And then he got into a car and he drove to Nagasaki. And then Nagasaki got bombed and he was in another pool.
Yeah, he loves to. When there's a nuclear war, he loves to go into the.
He goes from city to city.
He loves to swim.
He goes from city to city during a nuclear war and just finds the local pool.
Working on his tan.
But anyway, I'd much rather talk to him than the pilot who dropped the bomb. That's what I'm saying.
Like, okay, so he went. So if I got the story straight, he went to Hiroshima.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna do a skinny dip here, and then the whole town got blown up.
Yeah. So
and then he's like, fuck, I have to find another pool.
Yeah.
And then he drove like an hour or whatever, and then he went to Nagasaki and like finally a pool.
Yeah.
Still a mushroom cloud behind him. It's like, well, at least I can hear relax.
Yeah.
And then they blow up the town again.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck, where can I find a hotel where it's not blowing up all the time?
Yeah.
Now that's a story.
What's a man got to do to find a pool around here?
Yeah. Can you please stop blowing up every pool?
Leave one pool for the rest of us.
Okay, people, that's all. Thank you.
No.
Good night.